Welcome back to Forever a Lion. Here is episode 2. I'm with an old friend of mine and someone that I've always known as Chinny, but you might know him as Dennis Chin. I'm going to let him explain who he is. Dennis, welcome to the pod. Tell us a little bit about who you are and your connections with Orlando City.
Hi, John, and thank you for having me. Dennis Chin here. I'm an ex-forward for the club between the years of 2011 and 2015.
You played for USL Pro at that time, a number of good years, but 2012 was your best year. Tell us a little bit about that season for Orlando City.
Well, that year I was fortunate enough to win the USL Golden Boot, so it was a great year for me.
Yes, you got 11 goals and 3 assists in 24 games in that year, which was enough to secure you the Golden Boot. During that time, I remember a lot of Adrian just shouting, Chinny, sort of Chinny at you a lot of the time. Tell us a little bit about how you got signed for the club and how you became a member of Orlando City.
Yeah, I mean, it's a funny story. It started actually before the club was announced. My dad actually like dragged me to the press conference to announce the team. And this was like the fall of 2010. He like bullied me into like introduce myself to everyone. And I remember shaking hands with Adrian at that time, and I never knew what could come of it or what will ever come of it. But fast forward a bit later, I was training at a facility called at Spectrum, and they came in to tour the facility, and then it became real, like, oh, this club is actually coming next year. And I was training to be a pro, but I didn't know where I was going to end up. I ended up at a fields playing 6v6 at Central Winds Park, and Adrian and Ian Fuller, the assistant at the time, rolled up, and then everybody got really excited, and I was just playing. And then afterwards, someone told me, "Hey, I think they really liked you," and I didn't really think anything of it. Fast forward maybe a week later, I get a call from a number I didn't really know, and it was Ian Fuller inviting me to preseason, and I was like really shocking. And then I found myself in the preseason, and it wasn't until literally the week right before the season started that I was offered a contract. Uh, no agent, nothing. I just shook hands. I was like, yep, I'm gonna take it. I jumped right into it, and it was just like a 1 year deal, and I was just really happy to be there. And that's how I started with the club, 2011 first season.
Known for your speed, you were number 15. I just remember a lot of memories of you just flying past guys in that league, just you had that raw pace, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy because I wasn't that fast when I was younger, and it like kind of, so I was like, I was more of a 10 and a dribbling kind of player, and then it clicked for me, like 16, 17, I just got fast. I grew, and I just got faster than everyone else. And then everyone's like, oh, you got to play up the top now. But Adrian was the first person what actually like made me want to run, because I was just more a ball to feet guy. And he's like, yeah, you're wasting you're wasting your best attribute here, just getting the ball to feet. So yeah, I mean, I thought I was pretty quick, but I mean, I'm Jamaican, so it comes with it.
Yes, indeed. I mean, you used to just fly up the wing. I remember there was like long balls that used to get on the end of that would be, was it Lewis Neal? Someone would just send one, what rail? And you just, I'm going to get on the end of that. Jamie Watson as well. Like the two of you are just, speed demons in that league. During that time, you got one goal was it one goal or 2 goals in your first season? And then that second season, you really blew up and got 12 goals, 11 goals. That was your best year. After that, you went on to play at a few other places as well. So a very good career for you. Do you feel, very proud of your time for Orlando City?
Yeah, the biggest thing for me was obviously I'm very grateful to get my start here, but obviously coming and straight from, Rawlins and, being in the backyard to playing in front of a home crowd. Technically the first ever homegrown player, if you think about it, right? I think that was mainly the honor for me to play in front of my family as well as everyone else and rep the purple. But yeah, I think the biggest memories is obviously winning. I've never played on a team since then that had just the urge and the pressure to win. If we drew a game, it was like a big deal. If we won only by 1 goal, it was like a big deal. And yeah, I thought like in the playoffs is really when we usually turned it up. And I think I scored most my goals in the playoffs other than in the league. But it was I really looked upon that time like as some of the best times in my career.
Yeah, I mean, it was 22 goals in 84 appearances over your time, and a very good record. And I know, obviously, the first year you won the championship, and then you won the Shield in the second year, and another championship. So it just back-to-back wins, a very exciting time. Can you tell us, what is your favorite off-field memory? So maybe not one of those times on the field, but maybe it was a time when you guys were traveling or in a hotel or something that happened.
Oh
We'll
man,
keep it fairly clean here, but I'm
I
sure
have
you've got
I
some
have
great stories.
so many stories,
Yeah.
right? But specifically, when I remember this time when we were on a bus because we used to take these. We usually flew, but every now and then, if we were going to say Richmond and some of these places in the Carolinas, Charleston, we'd take these sleeper buses. Right. And then we'll go in at nighttime and then literally we'd go in and there's like little beds were like coffins. Like and then there's a back room with everyone was playing cards and like a TV. That was when everyone was like really wanted to be up and talking. And then the front area was like a living room area. That's where Adrian, Ian, and the staff would hang out. And I remember we're on our way to like Richmond and everyone was kind of sleeping on the bus and the bus driver stopped for something. And me and Kevin Molino snuck off the bus because we were hungry and we went to McDonald's. We went to McDonald's and got like McDonald's and everyone we thought everyone was sleeping and like Adrian was sleeping, so we snuck back on the bus and we were in the back eating fries and nuggets. And then the next morning we get to Richmond and we had a training session that day and I remember Adrian pulling us to the house and saying, "Hey, what'd you guys eat last night?" And then Kevin Molina stood up and he was like, we had we had chicken and potatoes, obviously, and everybody was like dying laughing because he was trying to make it look so like proper. I had like those are the days when we were just everyone was just so happy to be there, and it was just a winning culture, and it was just so much joy. But we had so many different players from different backgrounds, like Caribbeans, and obviously other than Americans and Spanish players, and then we had English guys, and it was a great time. But so many funny stories. Obviously, Adrian Inchi, he has tons of stories. You can talk all day about him, and I have a bunch of stories about every time where they used to bet how many times he would say my name. He's like, how many chinnies he's gonna say it, and they would actually have bets, and like, oh, 15 chinnies, because you just always like chinny. But yeah, I had some great times.
I feel like the journeys on those buses, like you guys had to do that so much bonding time. I remember also the mini buses, right? I mean, it was like the different guys driving the mini buses at one point. I remember there was a whole situation where Ian Fuller at one place got lost with the mini bus, and that's the kind of stuff that we want to hear about on this podcast.
Oh,
So
wait, I have way more. I forgot. Do you remember? We used to have to go to the islands. We had to go to Antigua and Barbuda to play
yeah, what was
games.
it? What was the name of that team?
Antigua Barracudas. It's
Yes,
the Barracudas.
the Islanders as well. Wasn't
Yeah,
that a
but
team at one point?
yeah, the Islanders was one as well. But when we had to go to Antigua, we would have to go like fly to Puerto Rico and then get like this small plane to this random island, just right in the middle of the Caribbean. And we stayed in like a resort with like a casino. A lot of people don't know this, but 2011, like we didn't even have a kit man. So it was up to like the rookies, which is like me, basically, to do laundry. So me and Ian Fuller, because he was the assistant coach, he would just watch me and I would get quarters, give me quarters, and I would like wait out in the laundry rooms of different hotels and wash everyone's kids as a rookie in the team. And then help him fold it up and then they'll bring it to the stadium the next day. But yeah, we would play in like a cricket stadium in Antigua, like we played on Friday and a Sunday. It was crazy times, like, and then fly back to the US and like nothing ever happened.
Yeah, I mean, Inchi was that old school. English coach, right? I mean, he had a
Yeah.
lot of those traditions that he had from Everton that he brought, and having you as like one of the rookie guys, he really picked on
Oh
the
yeah.
rookie guy in a good way, of course, to kind of motivate you. And so, he had that great way about making you feel welcome. But he had certain guys that he liked to, get on extra. And
And
you
it's always
you
because you
were
could
very
take it.
high on that list, I feel. Yeah,
Yeah.
like maybe unjustified at times. I feel like Chinny was always getting shouted at, even when you're scoring goals. He's,
Yeah. Yeah.
shouted at you to get back, or whatever.
But I loved it because I mean, at that time it was tough. But after, well, I kind of looked at it because obviously he believed in me. Like he's the one who gave me the chance, and he saw a lot more in me that I was like destined for more than just that level. So that's where it came from because he sat me down a few times and it's like, hey, listen, like you have a certain skill set and like it's like people want that. Like you have to focus. 'Cause I was this smiley guy that I was just happy to be there at that time. You know what I mean? So washing like pennies and kids is like I didn't even think anything of it. I was like, oh, that's charge it to the game. I'm just happy to be here.
I'm just happy to be here.
So, but yeah, I think it really, it helped pave the way for my career because no other place I could just survive anywhere else because nothing would have been the pressure that I had here. So like everywhere else, I found my way into the team and found my way to play or found my role because of that. If not, if I would came in soft and was given everything, I don't know, maybe I would have dropped out a lot sooner.
Yeah. I mean, Adrian set you guys up really well for success. A lot of your team members have gone on to do other things in the sport. And I think a lot of that is because of, the ethics that Adrian
Mhm,
brought and the way that
mhm.
he really ran that team for those years. All right. So your favorite on-field memory during those times. So that's any goal or maybe one of the cups you lifted.
I would say I think you gotta that 2013 final is just it's always one of my favorite finals because I think that set the wave and the wave for everything to fall into place for MLS. But 20 something thousand people there at the Citrus Bowl, and it was a 7-4 final. I just remember it was just goals and goals. I'm like, no matter how much we score, I was like, I don't even know we're gonna win.
Yeah.
It was like that crazy. And I remember scoring 2 goals, and then everyone was thinking that, oh man, you scored 2 goals and an assist in the final. That's a great final. And then Dom scored 4 goals and got the MVP.
Yeah, we do hear a lot about Dom's 4 goals. I
Four
don't
goals in
always hear about
finals,
your
right?
2 goals,
To
Chinny.
go,
But
yeah. And everyone's like,
7-4, they counted. We needed those 2 goals.
yeah, yeah, it's crazy to think about it like that. But no, I think that was a great moment. 2011 finals is the first ever finals, right? When we had a red card and down a man in like the 55th minute, and then and she was like, "Hey, Chin, come in," because she's like, "Your athleticism, you can cover the ground for 2 men." So, and then we, earning the penalty in that 115th minute for Lewis to score, and then we went to penalties. And I think that's also one up there in my favorite moments. So those 2 moments, 2 finals, I think is up there.
Yeah, I mean the old Citrus Bowl, full of it was red in 2011 and then purple in
Definitely.
2013, and I think there was just a lot of fun around that era of Orlando City when it was kind of a thing that if you knew about it, you knew about it, but if you didn't, maybe you weren't there. But it definitely paved the way for the future and what was going to be MLS. So, your favorite Orlando City player of all time. I mean, this I know you're gonna play favorites is a tough one. You want to pick yourself, that's fine. It's
I'm
a
not
cop
kidding.
out. No, I'm kidding. But I mean, this can be MLS. I'm assuming you're gonna pick one of your teammates from USL, but it might not be.
No, I think for me it has to. I'm gonna go with my fellow Caribbean brother Kevin Molino, right? I think he's the one who played in both eras, other than Bards. And just like from where it started to where he ended up, it's like crazy, right? Like I mean, he's just someone I like. At the time, it was a rivalry when we just got in. I was like, oh, I'm gonna outdo this other Caribbean guy. But then it became like he's became one of my best friends. And I mean, he won 2 MVPs in the USL, right? He beat me out for MVP in that 2012 year, and he's just a unique player, very unique player. It's just really hard to get a hold of him. He's so slippery. He plays that 1-2 around the corners, and I haven't really played with and seen many players like him, and that's why I would say that I would have to put him up there as my favorite, just because he just his unique qualities that a lot of people see him like, oh, he's not that fast, or he's not that killing you with step overs or any skills, or he's not this big goal scorer that's crazy. But like, if you know the game and you play with him, there's times out there when he could be unplayable. So I think he would be probably my favorite Orlando City player.
Yeah, I mean, he in that league, looked like Messi at times. I mean, bro, the way he just cut it up in USL Pro, it was incredible to see. And he was always a fan favorite for many people, not only because of, his smile that he always wore, but just the moments of brilliance that he brought on the field, the chops, the turns, the shots, the free kicks. Kev could do it all, and then he went on from there to have a really good MLS career. I mean, that's, of all the players from there, I think he's probably the most successful gone on from that era. So
yeah. I mean, he won an MLS Cup just recently with Columbus
yeah,
Crew, right?
still kicking around in MLS and winning trophies.
He literally just captained in a Gold Cup just against the US the other day. So I mean,
Yeah, I
well
saw
into
that.
his 30s. And there's a crazy part. He's had 3 ACL injuries, which is crazy. Like, who lasts with 3 ACL injuries? And people like, but he just, after 1 ACL, he just came back like nothing ever happened. Oh, another ACL came back, nothing ever happened. That's like very unique, and I don't think any player in the world could say that they came back multiple times from three.
Yeah, I remember he had concerns even when he was in USL. And we were like, is Kev going to be the same when he came back from that one time? I can't remember what season it was when he was with
2015. No, it was MLS.
It was right at the beginning. That's right.
Yeah,
right Kaká, as we were about to go MLS. Yeah,
because I remember Kaká was telling everybody that AC Milan should get it, and then he tears his ACL. So that should show you the level of what he was playing. Yeah, he's a player for sure.
For sure. All right. Your other favorite person in Orlando City. So this is not a player, but this can be a coach or a staff member or a fan or anyone around the club that you just want to shout out as one of the favorite people for you.
Man, there's so many.
I know.
Man, obviously Mama
you could
K.
Give honorable mentions,
I gotta say,
sure.
Mama K. I gotta say K is one of the ones I have to shout out because
well, she picked Miguel for favorite player. So,
I know, I
why.
Come on, she has to say Miguel. We know that.
Yeah, but you were up there too.
But no, obviously, Case has to be up there. I really, Paddy in the front office. That's an unsung hero, like from day one. I think that, obviously, like people don't really see because they're not at the front there, but it's there. So many like people that had this club feeling like a great club. So yeah, I mean, I would say Kay and Patty are definitely, I would say, deserve that shout out because I mean, obviously the coaching staff and everything, they get all the plaudits, ownership, get all the plaudits. They always get that, right?
Yeah.
Someone I'm really close to now is Eric Ustruck. Like Eric Ustruck deserves a shout out because he did a lot of stuff behind the scenes after playing to help build the team and the pride. Right. So I think he deserves a lot of credit for how this club's run in both men and women that no one probably knows about. Right. But he's doing a great job. He's consulting in the NWSL now in the Houston Dash. And
I did not know that either. Well, there you go.
Exactly. Right.
I mean, there's so many of the guys from the USL era that are in and around the club still, of course, Pitello and sure. Lewis Neal, yourself. So it's great to see that, but also who's gone on from here, like, Rob Valentino, for example, that's right. Another guy that's gone on to represent us and is having a good coaching career himself. These are the stories that we want to hear about. So hopefully we have to get all these guys on at some point, but that is great. Patty has had 2 shout outs now. Patty is like 2 episodes in a row.
Oh, really?
Kay picked Patty too, because she's been there that long, man. I mean, you think Patty has been there since
2011,
the longest you've been there. So I think that says something for sure. All right, what is your like game day ritual now? Like, kind of, I know it's a little different for you in this your current situation now from what it was maybe when you were a player. So, did you have any things when you were a player and like
Oh,
now, and how has game days evolved for you?
so I mean, I'm like a freak in nature where I mean, still to this day, I could pretty much eat anything and do anything and be and be fine. So what's crazy is that I used to eat like just straight pad thais before games. And
That was your
pad,
you like gotta
I
have
was
Thai
like,
food.
I was like Thai food or some kind of Chinese food or something. I would even eat chicken wings before games. Like I had like and I would just fly. I mean, I didn't really have anything special. My biggest thing is that like I like to watch highlights. I used to like watch Neymar, you know, the highlights, or you know, that means R9 or Thierry Henry.
So,
A
like
lot of
in the
my
locker room on your phone there, just watching
just
highlights.
before I even got to the stadium, I would, you
Okay.
know, watch highlights. In the locker room, I was like, I tried to be a lot more present and like, you know, banter with the team and stuff like that, and music. But like before, watch highlights and I would eat. Now it's a little bit different, right? I got two little ones, so so that is a little bit different now.
Yeah, I mean the family, of course. Tell us a story about how you met your wife because that is also tied to the club.
Yeah, well, it's crazy because when I was in that facility before, when Adrian came in, I was in a group of players training to be pros, and there's two female players training in that same group, and one is my wife now, Rebecca. But then that first season, 2011, obviously I was with the club, but then she went on to play in Germany, and then she came back, and then she started working with Kay in the community relations department, and then literally outlasted me because I ended up leaving and moving on, and she stayed until she left in 2015, right after the MLS season, the first MLS season. So, but yeah, that's kind of how we met. And then obviously, I literally had my girlfriend that was in the club and community relations. I had my brother that was in PR. I was playing, and then my dad was helping out as well.
Your dad
And
was
then
doing youth club stuff,
yeah,
right? At the
yeah, he's in
time.
the youth clubs too and helping out with stuff. And then I had two younger brothers that were in the academy. So I mean, the chins are everywhere.
Yeah. The Tins are everywhere. Of course, your brother Jamie, I lived with him for a long time, worked with him
Mhm.
for a long time, now gone on to, work for the Chicago Fire and then FIFA. So another story of the Chins, another success story there. We'll
Yeah,
get Jamie on. Don't worry.
yeah, yeah, he
Don't worry,
needs to.
Jamie. You're not gonna be forgotten, bro. You're on the list. Alrighty. So what part of Orlando City do you enjoy the most? Like it might have been different back in the day to what it is now, but is there a part of the club that you're like, I really like this?
I mean, back in the day, I felt like the club was. I think that what made it special is that we had a special bond with the fan base and the community in general, right? I think that's what, compared to many other teams I played, I think this club had a way more special bond with the fans. Like I remember after every game, we signed and everyone got to go on the field, especially in the Citrus Bowl era, right? And I think that built a big foundation of how like um supportive and even how the fan base grew. That was like probably my favorite part because even you know 10 years after I retired, I still have people coming up to me from those days and like, oh, do you remember him? He was like this big, man, and you saw his shirt, and now look at him, he's a doctor now, or you know what I mean? That's always been my favorite, is that connection and that bond. And you know what I love about this era now is that it's almost coming back to that a bit, with that more of a look to the fans and the community compared to the ownership right before this. So yeah, I think this era, I think the Wolves have done a great job of trying to connect with um you know the people that helped kind of build the club to where it is pre MLS as well as early MLS.
Yeah, I remember those early like community events that we used to do all the time, and Kay would be like, "Hey, you who's up next? Like, there's a roster of guys. You got to put your time in." I
Yeah,
think it's that small community that we were able to. It's different, when you have clubs that aren't as big. It's a lot easier to connect directly with those fans, and that was something that was really special back in the day about Orlando City. Those tailgates, man, it was a lot of fun
yeah.
having you guys
I
come
heard.
out.
I remember those, like even just coming outside to those, and it was like the food was great, and everyone was hyped. Those are the
Yeah.
days, man. Those are the
For
days.
sure. Alrighty. So, what does Orlando City mean to you personally? This is
Well,
a
I mean,
deep one.
oh, this is a very deep one. I mean, it's kind of like for me, it's hope, really, because I mean, it kind of this club helped shape a lot of my formative years as an adult through, like I said, how my entire family was kind of like circled around this club, right? So it for me, it helped me transform it from a boy to a man, and build this career that I'm currently, this love for the game and this connection to the game, and that I'm currently on that same journey today. So like, I don't know what would have happened if I didn't, in some way connected with a club, right? I would have been a financial planner or something like that, right?
It was the sparks for your career, right? The catalyst.
It's definitely was a catalyst, a spark. And then I look at it, I was like, oh, right, like it can give that belief to someone else, right? And so I look at it like that. It's a little bit different connection. I mean, to me, I would love if Orlando won an MLS Club Cup, but it doesn't change the way, it wouldn't have changed the way I feel about it at all. I think a lot of people have different, connections to the club, but for me, it's always going to be held in my heart. Like that is the way I began, the way I started everything, and it's just a different feeling compared to any other club.
Was that a lot of your reasons for kind of coming back here after you were done with your player career and you're like, what are my next steps? Did you always feel like you wanted to kind of come back and do something? I know you're not working for the club, but you're still very connected to the club.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of me, for me, it was kind of down to the fact that I just felt like I had more people that cared about me in this area, and I cared about my family.
Community.
Yeah, this community comparatively to anywhere else, and we had a choice. I could literally live anywhere in the world. And we liked other places where I played and lived too, right? But nothing checked all the boxes like here. With so many, like you said, community members that like we could call upon if need anything, or right next to a club that we know people that if we want to watch the game and we want to go to a game, we can just go to a game and we know the people there. And then obviously you can't beat the weather in Florida in the winter time, and that for me the proximity to Europe, if I need to go, it was really helpful. So I mean, so many boxes got checked and why I moved back. But yeah, obviously Orlando City helped shape that.
Well, we're happy to have you here, man. I'm sure a lot of fans smile when you get to see them still in the concourse. The old people that know you, it brings a smile to see the old players on game days. Alrighty, give us your favorite Orlando spot. So this might be like a restaurant or a coffee shop or a bar or wherever maybe there's a little hidden spot you like to go, or maybe there's a place that back in the day we used to go to all the time. I could think of a few places that we used to go like back on Church
Yeah.
Street that don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
But give us what are your favorite spots?
Wow, it's a tough one because I've gone through so many eras in Orlando because
Right,
I
you
went
change as a
yeah,
person.
because I,
You
I
go
mean
to
I went to
different parts of
Oviedo.
town as a
Yeah, I went to
person, right?
Oviedo High School,
Yeah.
and then I went to Rawlins, and then I became a pro, and then I retired, and now I live with kids here. Like it's so different places. I mean, I could probably pick one for each era, but I mean, I'm still a big fan of Park Ave throughout the era. Like I've
Yeah.
always it's a good place. Like I remember, just moving from Jamaica and everything, and our dad like brought us for ice cream at Haagen Dazs on that Park Ave, right? Like, and then going to Rollins, and then that's the street that the stadium is on. And then when we the first office was in that Winter Park area for Orlando City, right? After the one that was in Lake Mary, and then now that's now you have the Prado and Ava, and it's changed from the Luma days when it was like Luma. But I mean, I still think that's still my favorite little niche of Orlando to this day because I've gone through so many eras where I've seen it grow and I still enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, Park Ave's got some great spots. I remember was it the 2011 party that we had after the final that was in what is now Ravenous Pig, and back then I can't remember what it was, or was that the
Is that it
2013?
was Old Boys? It was
I
called like Old Boys or
Yeah,
something. It was
what
like
was
a
it called?
barbecue
I don't
spot. It's
remember,
a
but we had
barbecue
that
spot.
whole spot to ourselves,
Oh,
and
I
we
know
turned
that for
up
a
at like
fact.
11.
I know that for a fact because at Rollins we used to go there on Wednesdays. I remember,
Yeah,
and it's right across from Fiddlers. Yeah,
that was a great, is that kind of stuff. It's like, we'd
yeah,
be able to book out a place at 11 o'clock at night and we'll roll up and be there till 2 a.m. celebrating. Those are the memories that I have. I also remember John Cotchell falling asleep somewhere in the parking lot. So we'll have to have him on Johnny Koch at some point. Alrighty. Tell us about life after playing. You have ended up in a really cool job, I think, in a very unique position. Kind of tell us about what you're doing now and how you got there.
yeah. Somehow I'm still involved in the game, right? I didn't want to let it go. No, I had a choice of continuing playing, but at that time, we we were thinking about having a family and everything, right? So I was like, all right, what gives me the flexibility to still be, remote and be around my family? Because this is COVID times too, so remote was now more normal. But yet still be a part of the game and still have the control that I would want to control to work with who I want to work with. I entered the dark side and became an agent and started my own agency. Ended up working with a few ex Orlando City players and ex Orlando City uh people that were already coaches and stuff and play some players. Um, and then grew it. And then last year got acquired by Young Money, which the agency that was founded by Wayne and the Anheuser-Busch family. And yes, since then I've been the president of global soccer for them and kind of building out because we are in our agency we have a pretty significant now NFL and NBA side. Recently we had Travis Hunter go to Jacksonville Jaguars, number 2, and then we had the number 5 pick in NBA draft as well. And now I'm kind of trying to put that investment now into football, into especially coming into a World Cup year. So that's kind of what I do now. I get to look and find talent and help them, and actually have 3 players in the Orlando system signed. So one in the first team and 2 in the second team. So still somehow found my way to connect to the club.
Hey man, I mean, it's always good to look at home first, right? It's easier to scout boys who are here where you are than across the world. But I know you're going to have some travel soon. You're going off to Europe to go a bit scouting there. Do you feel a lot like you're kind of giving back in some ways because you're kind of going make be that catalyst, be that first guy to go find young talent, just like Adrian and Ian went and found you all those years
Yeah,
ago?
yeah, yeah. I mean, I've always felt that way because from the start, my niche was always developing markets. So we brought in probably more Caribbean players to the US and Europe than probably any other agency that I know of personally in the past just 3-4 years. And then we have guys from Estonia, Algeria, and then couple of Japanese players and 2 at Orlando City. So yeah, I feel like that's always been like a soft spot to me, and finding players that are maybe underdogs that were like no one would have thought to be great, and help become that catalyst for them. For example, Yutaru, that's at Orlando right now, was at Daytona State when I first started speaking to him, right? And he was a JUCO player, and we had a kid, Ethan Horde, what no one touched. We ended up signing him in division. Third tier in USL 1, and now he's in the Super League in Serbia. That he's probably going to transfer to an even big league this summer. So we've had a lot of success with late bloomers, but also young stars that like we help start that career. So yeah, I feel like I'm giving back in a certain way with him because I went through a lot of what they went through, right? Compared to maybe another agent that just has a sports management degree or a law degree. So I kind of connect well with that. I think that's my biggest strength as an agent is to connect to the players and psychologically be there for them for the tough spots, not just like contract stuff. Because I personally know that anyone can help from that. I can bring a guy on the street and say, "Oh, you want to talk to this club?" and say, try to get the most money you can get for them. I mean, I don't think that's the tough part. I think the tough part is when the guy gets injured or when he's not playing that much or you had high expectations or maybe he's in the wrong club for him and try to find the right fit. I think that's the toughest part of it. And I think that's where we shine because, I mean, other than that, my business partner is Giuseppe Gentile, who also played for Orlando City, right? And he has that experience in his own right that he helps players in his own right through his lens. So, yeah, I think I do get a chance to help, and I really enjoy it.
Sure. I mean, Yutaro Takada, a real shame this year that he picked up that injury. I think we were very hopeful that he was going to be able to break into the first team and see a few more minutes, but I'm sure he's going to come back strong. Who else have you got? You said in the club.
Yeah, we have another Japanese player, Ryan Tori. That's
Okay, Tori is your okay.
Tori. Yeah, that's in the next pro, and then we have a
Yeah.
young Finnish kid, Noah Levi. That's also in the next pro team as well. That's
Yeah, he just scored a goal on his
teenager.
debut,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, a teenager. So yeah, we have some. Like I tell you, like a kid from Finland and two from Japan. Like,
Yeah,
we try to
you're
find them all
traveling.
over. Yeah, we
Yeah,
try to
for
find them
sure.
all over.
Well, they can watch this and they can see, you were once where they were, and they can hear all about their agent and in his time. Thank you very much, Dennis. I appreciate you a lot for being here, man. Is there anything else you want to tell the people, the fans, anyone you want to shout out or any message you want to leave them with?
No, I mean the biggest thing is to continue to support our club, right? Through good times and bad. I think that's the beauty of being a sports fan. So many teams, even this year alone, had one title. Look at Tottenham, you know what I mean? And you finally win it, like, it's so much joy. So we're kind of waiting for a little bit more joy, but that's actually part of the game. So I'm really appreciative for the support everyone has given me so far, throughout all my steps of my career, from Rawlins all the way up till now as an agent. I still, like, there's people in the club that still talk to me about it and follow my journey. So I'm really thankful for that. And hopefully, I can bring a DP or someone soon, which I'm talking about, to try to bring in someone big to hopefully get us over that hump, that little playoff hump that we're close to, which we got beat by Red Bulls last year. And my ex-teammate Julian de Guzman was the GM for that team, Red Bulls team, and I was so torn. I was like, I want to be happy for him, but I was not happy for him. But yeah, I'm really thankful and I'm really happy, and I hope everyone keeps coming out and supporting, because obviously, as you can see now, the effect is out on me, and that's how it's going to affect other players as well.
Well, I appreciate you a lot for being on here and talking all about your time with the club, sharing your stories. That's what this podcast is all about. If you like what you listen to here, please go ahead and subscribe on YouTube. You can just find us as Forever or Lion. You can also follow us on Spotify. If you're on there, please give us a rating, preferably 5 stars. That helps us in the algorithm, helps more people see the podcast. I got a lot of plans for a lot of people that we mentioned today and a lot other people as well to come on, talk their story of Orlando City. But for today, that's all we've got. And thank you very much for listening.